it might be the Football Association's 150th anniversary today, but one of the sport's greatest ambassadors wasn't in Wembley sipping champagne. He was here at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Birmingham visiting injured troops. Yes, it was David Beckham. He came along with actor and friend Ray Winstone. In fact, it was meant to be a solo visit for Ray Winstone when CSE organised this, but back in December, Ray got in touch and he said he had a friend who fancied coming along. They'd got together for Christmas drinks and he asked David Beckham if he fancied it, and he did.
This visit was all about the military patient, so David Beckham and Ray Winstone entered the hospital via a back door this afternoon and headed straight to ITU before going to the main military ward.
These kids are out there protecting my children and the world, whatever the world's going to be, you know, when I'm dead and gone. So I think it's only right that myself and the rest of the country support them.
It didn't take long for word to spread that the celebrities were here. Both stars are big supporters of the military and have been to Afghanistan, David Beckham most recently in 2010. Staff here say a visit by such high-profile celebs definitely boosts morale.
Oh, I think it means a lot. I mean, some of the patients, the military patients, are here for months at a time, and being in hospital is a pretty boring experience for the patients. So it just adds that a bit of adventure and a bit of a difference to the day.
It's just nice to have people to care about the military patients, really, and the military staff and the NHS staff that work to look after, to give the best care to the patients. So it's nice to know that they care about what we're trying to achieve here at QE.
The pair spent nearly 3 hours here at the hospital with military patients. David Beckham then went on to visit the children's cancer ward.
Well, we'll hear from David Beckham, the man that everybody wanted to meet, in just a moment. But first of all, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital here in Birmingham plays a pivotal role in the treatment of injured service personnel, and it's the host hospital for the Royal Centre for Defence Medicine. James Hurst has been taking a look at its achievements during its short history.
It's 2.5 years since the Queen Elizabeth Hospital opened and the Royal Centre for Defence Medicine moved from nearby Selly Oak. The whole hospital cost around £500 million and it was designed as a centre of excellence for both military and civilian medicine. It's home to the world's largest single-floor critical care unit with 100 beds. But for the armed forces, there is a dedicated 32-bed trauma and orthopaedics ward divided into 4-bed bays. The idea is to create a military atmosphere, which the hospital says is conducive to recovery. Military patients can also be treated in some of the hundreds of single rooms at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, meaning that military and civilian patients can almost always be kept apart. But the NHS and Armed Forces medical services are keen to take advantage of working side by side. The aim is to share innovation, like the bionic limb given to Corporal Andrew Garthwaite 2 years ago. The hospital's trust has become the home of a £20 million National Trauma Research Centre. Scientific evidence from both military and civilian injuries and new treatments developed from battlefield to high-tech operating theatre can be shared and explored. Among the high-profile visitors who've been to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital over the last 2.5 years, Prince Charles has been a regular, meeting away from the cameras many service personnel injured in Afghanistan and speaking to those who care for them. The work done at this hospital, both in treatment and research, has saved many lives. But today's loss is a harsh reminder. It is a battle that cannot always be won. James Hurst, Forces News.
Now, without further ado, let's hear from David Beckham. I spoke to him earlier and I started by asking him how his visit went.
Pretty amazing. You know, obviously I've been out to Afghanistan before and then a few years back, and then to come here today and to see the work that not just obviously the guys here have been through, but the work of the nurses, the work of the doctors. I think it's pretty amazing place, and it's very uplifting because you're meeting the guys, you're meeting some of the troops, and you know they are very kind of positive about life and about, you know, their future. So it really is has been an inspiring visit.
As you say, you got a chance to chat to quite a few of the guys here. I saw you talking to them. What did you chat about?
Just general stuff, really, because you know, we all know the reason why they're here, and you know their injuries that they've got, and what's going to happen to them in the future. But just general stuff, kind of what they did at Christmas and what I did at Christmas, and talked a little bit about football. But you know, it's great to meet them and great to meet, you know, their families, because they've got a lot of support, you know, around them. But it's just kind of trying to tell them and reiterate to them how much support they've got outside of their families and you know, outside of this little world that they're in at the moment.
And you mentioned that, of course, you went to Afghanistan in 2010. Do you think that trip helps you, or gives you a little bit of an insight into perhaps what they've been through?
It gives you a slight insight. You know, I was only over there for a short visit, 2 or 3 days, but you know, like I said about visiting here, you know, it's very inspirational. You know, to meet the guys, and you really feel the intensity that is out there within the camp. And you know, my visit, like I said, was very inspiring. You know, to meet some of the guys, to see, you know, to hear their stories, to kind of be around them for, you know, for the 2 days that I was. It's very intense, but it really is an amazing thing to be able to do for myself, to be able to go over and, you know, for them to tell me that, you know, how uplifting it is having people like myself go out there. And you don't think of it like that, and you just kind of want to share stories and talk to them about, you know, what they're going through. And they're just, you know, they treat it like just any job. You know, they know the reason why they're there. They believe in what they're doing, and that's the amazing thing about the troops. You know, they believe in what they're doing, and that's inspiring enough as it is.
And I understand Ray Winstone was quite instrumental in getting you here today, is that true?
He was, you know, he mentioned a couple of weeks back, I saw him just before Christmas, and he mentioned that he was coming up, and I said, well, great. He said, well, you should come with me, and I said, great, because I'm obviously not playing at the moment, so I've got the time to do that. So it's, you know, it's all down to Ray, but I'm glad he brought me up here, because it's great to see the work that's been done.